Welcome back. This is the program to go to if you want to know what's happening across Nigeria, across all the states of the Federation. And if you're wondering what the new ministers who've just been confirmed are up to, it won't be far from the location of the Federal Capital Territory in a meeting with the President, a retreat. But before we continue, we'd like to remind you that all our top stories can be found on our website, channelstv.com, and on youtube.com/channelsweb. Do visit m.channelstv.com to view us live on your mobile device. You can also download the Channels TV app for Android, iOS, and Windows phones from their respective stores. We'd also like to urge you to please interact with the Eyewitness feature in the Channels TV app on the Android, iOS, and Windows platforms. If you have pictures or videos you'd like to share with us, tap the app on your device, swipe to reveal the Eyewitness menu, and follow the instructions. Well, the states across Nigeria will obviously feel the work of, or the impact of the work of the new ministers when that begins. And for that purpose, a presidential retreat organized by the Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation for all ministers designate has kicked off in the FCT. The retreat, which was declared open by President Muhammadu Buhari, has as its theme, delivering change from precepts to practice. In his remarks, President Buhari asked the ministers designate to count themselves privileged to have been chosen amongst millions of their peers to be drivers of the change that the ruling party promised Nigerians. The president said the expectations of Nigerians from his administration were high and maintained that the government's official determination to succeed must be equal to the nation's challenges. He recalled that his election was hinged on his promise to tackle corruption, insecurity, and improve the economy, and promised to deliver. He said his administration will count its achievements based on the number of Nigerians it succeeded in moving out of poverty. The president also said that his administration would uphold the rule of law and ensure that impunity was removed from governance. He urges the ministers designate to be ready to be vehicles to administer the change needed.
The work of restoration and renewal is urgent and immense. The expectations of Nigerians are high. Our determination to succeed and change the fortunes of our country must be equal to the challenge. I have invited you to join me in this urgent mission for our country. I am convinced that in accepting this invitation, you are also equally determined to take part in this patriotic undertaking. This retreat, therefore, marks your first official contact with the machinery of this government, of which you will soon be an integral part. It is important that you are fully acquainted with the direction and priorities of this government so that we can all move together as a team.
President Muhammadu Buhari speaking at the retreat in Abuja for the ministers designate. Now to the southwestern part of the country, the Osun state government has sent the land use charge bill to the State House of Assembly for passage into law. It will focus on reviewing the state's tax policies, particularly tenement rates and land use charges. State Deputy Governor Titilayo Tomori-Laoye told a public hearing of the Land Use Charge Bill 2014 that implementation will help to improve the state's internally generated revenue. Speakers at the public hearing agree that the state needs to look inward to boost its internally generated revenue to augment its receipts from federal allocations. They also appeal to residents and landowners not to see the passage of the bill into law as extortion, but a necessity, as stated by the law, to help boost the economy of the state.
The national revenue has fallen beyond what we can describe because of the dwindling revenue we've been collecting from oil. The demand for oil has fallen drastically. This is the time when the price of oil should have risen, considering that the temperate parts of the world are approaching the cold season they call winter. But despite the approach of winter, they are not demanding for our oil. This has caused us, as a responsive state, to look inward, to see how we can generate revenue to sustain the development of the state and also grow the state as we had planned to.
Now to crime, and this happened in the South. 5 persons have been killed in robbery attacks on 2 Generation banks and a police station in Edo State, in Igara. Reacting to the incident, the Edo State Commissioner of Police, Chris Ezike, says 2 of the suspects have been arrested following a reprisal operation where 14 assault weapons, motorcycles, vehicles, IEDs, as well as 4.452 million naira in cash was also recovered. He says the police and Edo State government are working on compensation plans for the family and victims of those involved in the unfortunate incident.
Aftermath of an assault by armed robbers on 2 New Generation banks in Igara, Edo State. Edo State Commissioner of Police Chris Ezike is here with officers of his command to assess the damage and commiserate with the company's staff and management. The Edo police boss reveals that the command has already made a breakthrough with the arrest of some of the hoodlums. He says several items, including explosives and about a third of the loot carted away, were also recovered.
Good news, one of them fatally wounded that had that pool of blood. His remains were recovered from the bush. One other one was arrested alive. But the quantum of arms recovered from these people is worrisome. 11 AK-47 rifles, 4 other assault rifles, 39 undetonated IEDs, improvised explosive devices. It was part of it they used to gain access into the bank by blowing it up.
Mr. Ezike disclosed that the Edo State government has assured families of those who died in the attack of compensation to mitigate the effects of the loss.
I have also some assurances from His Excellency the Governor when he called me while I was at the field. I was in that operation. He called to encourage us to do our best and said as soon as I pull back, we discuss further details about mitigating the challenges of the policemen who suffered from this incident.
Clearly, the police have spread their dragnet, which they say will fish out the rest of the perpetrators of this dastardly act.
Well, it wasn't all sad news from Edo State. Some good news concerning maternal health in Edo State. That's when we come back. Please stay with us.